All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV. More than meets the third eye. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your spiritual vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. All right, hello, Terry, Claudette, Jay Parrish, Aon. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Hundia is here. All right. What's popping? We the people. Okay, let's get ready to get into it. Let me pull this up on my phone real quick. Okay, let's get ready to get into it. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please get those likes up. Thank you in advance. All right, there we go. There we go. Hey, Jane, Missions Vision is here. All right. Ryan is here. Okay, so let's get into it. So today, beloveds, we're going to be talking about fake people. 9 classic signs of a fake person, and this is according to psychologists, okay? And so let's talk about it. I'm sure we all know 1 or 2 people that's fake, okay? That put on facades, that pretend to be something they're absolutely not. Hey, Kimberly. Okay, so let's talk about it, people. Let's talk about it. Excuse me. Now, psychology provides us with some surefire signs to identify fake individuals, people who are not authentic. And spotting a fake person doesn't require a degree, just some awareness and understanding of human behavior. So let's figure out how we decipher the fake people from the real. Because there are certain characteristics that fake people tend to engage in, as well as there are certain characteristics that successful people engage in. Uh, People that are psychopaths. I mean, all different types of people. Different types of people have different types of characteristics. Okay, you have to be paying attention so you know what kind of people you're getting into it with. Now let's talk about the first thing. The first way we could tell someone is likely fake is because they're always wearing a mask. Okay, they're always wearing a mask. Now, I mean, some people put on a little bit of a facade, but fake people, they take things to a whole nother level. Okay. So according to psychology, one of the most common signs of a fake person is their constant need to wear a metaphorical mask. Okay. They're rarely authentic or genuine, often changing their opinions, behavior, and even their personality based on who they're interacting with. Okay. They act like a chameleon. And this behavior can be tiring to keep up with, and is often a sign that they're not being true to who they really are. Almost like they're having an identity crisis, because some people lie and put up such a facade, so much so that they get lost in it. They don't even realize who they really are. Their own personality, their true personality gets like bogged down under all of the fakeness. Okay? So pay attention to how they act around different people. Now, if you notice drastic changes, you might be dealing with a fake person. Now, being adaptable is one thing, but constantly altering your identity is quite another. All right. And the second thing is their actions don't match their words. So a classic sign, according to psychology, is when someone's actions don't align with their words. They make grand promises, but rarely follow through. Now, and they give a scenario. There was a person named Lisa who would always promise to show up at social events, family gatherings, or just, even casual meetups. But when the time would come, Lisa was always a no-show with an array of excuses lined up. Now, let me just give you an example of this, okay? Let me give you an example of this. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Jay said can also be a mood disorder. Okay, possibly could be. Now, here's the thing. There's a person in my family, and I'm not going to say their name, but there's a person in my family who years ago when I was in college, they called me one day asking how I was doing and all of this and that. And I told them I'm doing fine. And then they were like, I'm going to send you $500. And I said, why would you send me $500? They're like, I'm just going to send you $500. I know it's hard when you're in college, this and that. And you don't have time to work because you're studying and all of this and that, right? So I said, okay, well, thank you. Now, mind you, I didn't ask them to send me anything, but they said, I'm going to send this to you to help you out because you're in college. So they said they were going to put it in by Western Union the next day. So the next day came and went, and nothing came. And then the next day came and went, and nothing came. So I called them. I was like, hey, I said, did you send that money to Western Union? Because I went to pick it up and there's nothing there. And they were like, oh, yeah, I'm going to send it. I forgot. Yeah, and the money never came. So needless to say, they were never going to send any money. And I was like, why would they call me and tell me that lie? I didn't even ask them for it. But then come to find out later, the reason they told that lie is because they were with someone and they had been bragging to this person about how they always help out their family. Oh, I just love my family so much. I always help my family. They depend on me, da, da, da. And then so they made that phone call to me, offering me the $500 right in front of this person to make themselves look big, to make themselves look like, oh, they're such a good person. They help everybody in their family. Okay. But at the end of the day, it was all a lie. And that's something that fake people do. They try to pretend they're so grand, so much more than what they really are. Because fake people, they have to keep up appearances. Okay? Real people just don't really care what people think about them. They don't worry themselves or concern themselves with what others think. Okay? And quite frankly, they're annoyed with the shortcomings of others. Now, fake people, yeah, they worry about what other people think because their whole thing is to get attention for themselves. And so they do a myriad of things to get that attention and because they want people to view them in a certain light. Okay, so please pay attention. And speaking of that, that's the next thing we're going to talk about. The third thing, they crave attention. Now, fake people often have an insatiable need for attention. Okay, they crave the spotlight and will go to great lengths to ensure that they're the center of everything, as if everything should revolve around them. Now, this behavior is rooted in psychology and it's often linked to low self-esteem. Okay, according to a study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, individuals with low self-esteem are more likely to behave in the ways that seek attention, even if it's negative. Okay, yes, it's absolutely a sign of low self-esteem. Okay, absolutely. Because, first of all, people that are sure of themselves, they don't even pay attention to if people are paying attention to them or not. They're not even concerned about that. But people with low self-esteem, they're always concerned. Is everybody watching me? Is anybody listening to what I'm saying? Is anybody paying me any attention? And all of that. That's absolutely what they worry about. Okay? They're attention whores, so to speak. Now, the fourth thing is they're quick to judge others. This is absolutely true. Okay? This is a terrible trait to have. People that are judgmental are some of the worst, in my opinion. Fake people have a tendency to judge others harshly, often without knowing the full story. And they don't even care because they're so opinionated. They think that what they believe and think is what counts. Now, mind you, they'll sit there and judge other people as if they're perfect. I just want you to pay attention. They're quick to point out the flaws and shortcomings and mistakes of others while rarely acknowledging their own. This behavior can be a defense mechanism, a way to divert attention from their own shortcomings. Okay, please pay attention. Now, if you notice someone constantly criticizing others, particularly without a fair basis or understanding, they might not be as genuine as they appear. Authentic people understand that everyone has flaws and try to see the good in others rather than focusing on the negative. But you see, fake people, well, they always want to focus on the negative. They want to break people down and they want to look at you and try to pick out the worst things about you because the whole thing is to make themselves look better. So if they can find things that negatively impact you, well, let's just focus on that. That's what fake people do. And that's why fake people are often haters. Okay, the two go hand in hand. The two go hand in hand. And if you have a hater who's out here faking it, these people are very dangerous because they'll go to great lengths in some cases to bring you down. All right? Because their lack of confidence in themselves gives them all the more reason to be envious of you. The fifth thing is they lack empathy. A significant sign of a fake person, according to psychology, is a lack of empathy. You see, they tend to struggle to understand and share the feelings of others, often showing indifference or even disregard for other people's feelings and emotions. This lack of empathy often manifests in them being unsupportive or dismissive when they're going through, one of their friends, family, or whomever is going through a tough time. They might even turn the conversation around to make it about them. Oh, yeah, they definitely do that. They definitely do that. And so if you're dealing with someone who consistently fails to show understanding or empathy when it's needed, you might be dealing with a fake person. So genuine people, they strive to understand and support those around them. Okay, showing kindness and compassion in both words and actions. And they don't jump to conclusions. They're willing to give people the benefit of the doubts. Okay, when they're really a friend and they're loyal. Okay, and the sixth thing is fake people are not reliable. Reliability is a trait that authentic people value highly. If someone consistently proves to be unreliable, it could be a sign that they're just fake. Now, we all miss appointments or deadlines from time to time, because life happens. Things happen. Things don't always go as planned. So that's just something normal. But fake people make a habit of doing it. Okay, this is something they do consistently. Okay, they'll have you laughing, and then sit there and act like everything's all peaches and cream, and then next thing you know, they just set you up for disappointment and failure. Okay, they leave you hanging, they cancel plans at the last minute, or simply just don't show up and don't have an explanation or an apology. And then the next time they see you or talk to you, well, they act like nothing happened. Okay, and then if you bring it up to them, they give you a myriad of bogus excuses. Now, this unreliability can leave you feeling undervalued and disappointed. But sometimes it's a heartbreaking realization when someone you care about shows time and time again that they just cannot be trusted to keep their word. Okay, sometimes people can be so disappointing. That's why, as far as I'm concerned, I tend to not, expect a lot from people. Because if you don't expect things from people, you don't really get disappointed. Okay, there are some people you can expect things from, like your husband, your wife, your parents, your kids. But other people, you really shouldn't expect too much from them, because at the end of the day, you just set yourself up for disappointment in most cases. Now, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Now, if you consistently can't count on someone, it might be a sign that they're not as genuine as they appear. And authentic people understand the value of trust, and they work hard to maintain it because they actually care. Okay? They care about your feelings. They care about disappointing you or whatever because they want you to know that they're trustworthy. Whereas fake people only care about themselves. They don't really care if they disappoint you. They don't mind telling you a lie because 9 times out of 10, well, a lie tastes better to them than the truth. Okay? Jane says, these are their natural default behaviors all the time. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Laverne said personality defects. Now, the 7th thing is they're rarely the first to reach out. Okay? Have you ever noticed with some people that if you don't initiate contact, you might not hear from them for weeks or even months, sometimes even years? So this is another sign of a fake person. Now, have you ever experienced this? If you have, put a 1 in the chat. If you ever experienced somebody who's just, you only talk to them, or you may have noticed at some point that you're the one that's always reaching out. You're the one that's always taking the initiative. Okay? This is how some people are. And they act like it's so important for someone else to come to them. So genuine people understand that relationships are a two-way street. And they make an effort to reach out and check on their loved ones, people that they care about. Now, if you find that you're always the one initiating contact, it might be time to reconsider the authenticity of that person. Okay? Okay, a lot of 1s in the chat. Timber Dan said, oh, yeah, oh, goodness, yes. Don't even get me started, okay? I know that's right, Dan. These are the same people that they won't call you to check on you and see how you're doing. But if they need something and they think you have it, then they'll call you. They only call you first when they need or want something from you. Other than that, they don't call you to say, hey, how you doing? No, that's what you do for them. Only time you hear from them really is when they want something. Okay? Andrea said projection is very real. It absolutely is. Okay, here's the 8th thing. They're full of excuses. Okay, fake people have a knack of making excuses, whether it's for their behavior, their lack of commitment, or their failure to deliver on promises. They always seem to have a reason or some sort of justification for their BS. Instead of owning up to their mistakes and taking responsibility, they often deflect the blame onto others or other circumstances. This behavior can be frustrating and can cause a strain in relationships. Let me tell you something. This is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. I know someone exactly like that. I know someone that they would do something, and then if you call them on their BS, let me give you an example. So I have this person that, one day they said something that I didn't like. This was a while ago. They said something that I didn't like. So I told them that I didn't like what they said. And quite frankly, I told them it hurt my feelings and that I was disappointed in them. And so they apologized. And then later they came back and said, well, I remember when you said this to me and it made me feel bad. Now, what they were talking about was something that happened like a year ago. So if I made you feel bad a year ago, why didn't you say something a year ago? It's funny that when I bring up what you said to me that I didn't like, now you want to go digging up stuff that I apparently said to you that you never even brought to my attention, never complained about. To me, that's a person who wants to escape accountability. To me, that's a person who doesn't want to keep it real and own up to their BS. So let me not just own up to what I did to you that was wrong. Let me bring up something and so I can make you seem just as bad so I can play the victim. But they'll accuse you of playing the victim. That's what they do. This is what fake people do. Okay? This is what fake people do. They don't want to stand up for their BS. They don't want to own it. They don't want to take accountability. Instead, they make excuses and they project, onto you. And then they make it about them. It's not about me hurting your feelings all of a sudden. It's about you hurting mine time and time again. And I just never said anything because I gave you grace. That's their justification for why they said what they said to you. Yeah, that's pretty fake. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, instead of owning up to their mistakes and taking responsibility, they'll often deflect blame onto others or other circumstances. This behavior can be frustrating and cause strain in relationships. Authentic people, on the other hand, are willing to admit when they've made a mistake. They don't deny or rely on excuses. Instead, they take responsibility for their actions and strive to learn and grow from their mistakes. See, that's what I do. Okay, that's what I do because I like to keep it real. If I did something and you let me know that what I did made you feel disrespected, hurt your feelings, or made you feel some type of way, then I can apologize. I don't need to start bringing up what you did to me in the past. This is what fake people do. Okay? Jane says, I removed their access to me, burn the bridge down once I peep game. Exactly. And that's the best thing to do because you don't need people like that. Okay? You don't need fake people in your life and judgmental, nasty people who say things, to try to make you feel bad about yourself as if they're perfect. Okay? Please pay attention. Now, the most telling sign of a fake person, according to psychology, is their self-centeredness. Okay, they put their needs and wants above everyone else's, often at the expense of others. They're typically uninterested in your life unless it benefits them in some way. Conversations with them often revolve around their achievements, their problems, their interests, leaving little room for you. Now, this lack of interest and empathy towards others is a clear indication of a fake person. Genuine people care about those around them and show interest in their lives, experiences, and feelings. They understand that relationships are about give and take, not just about serving their own needs. Okay? Fake people are very self-centered and they're very selfish, rarely ever selfless, in their actions. Now, understanding the signs of a fake person is fundamentally about understanding authenticity. Authenticity is defined by psychologists as owning one's personal experiences, be it thoughts, emotions, needs, preferences, or beliefs. People who lack authenticity often resort to the pretense and facade, which can lead to the signs, that we've already talked about, all of these different types of behaviors. And so everyone has off days and may exhibit some of these traits from time to time. It's a consistent pattern. When you see this happening over and over again on a consistent, regular basis, that's when you should be concerned and start asking yourself questions, okay? Now, Carl Jung, you all know Carl Jung is a person that I reference often because I study a lot of his research. He's a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. Okay? He said once that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Okay? Now, this quote emphasizes the importance of being genuine and true to yourself. I mean, you can lie to everybody else, but why lie to yourself? If you start lying to yourself, it's pretty desperate. Okay? If you don't want to even acknowledge the truth of who you are, that's pretty sad. Okay? And as we navigate our relationships and circles, social circles, it's very important to be original, authentic, and to have an identity for yourself, because these people also tend to be clingy and always want to be up under other people or always in other people's business. Okay, so try to be authentic in all your endeavors. Now, it's a challenging journey, but a rewarding one that leads no more fulfilling and genuine connections. All right? I'm sorry, it leads to more genuine, fulfilling connections. Just keep that in mind. Because one thing about fake people, let me tell you something. Fake people can fool us for a while, but eventually the facade comes crumbling down. Eventually, we'll either get tired enough and start looking for things, or we'll just sit there and realize at some point that this person's just not keeping it real, that this person's fake. Because fake people tend to lie a lot. Okay? They tend to lie a lot. Can't help themselves. I mean, and you think about it, you have to do a lot of lying when you, in fact, are living a whole facade. When you're pretending to be something that you're not. Okay? Can you talk difference between acquaintance and friend? Sure, Dan, and thank you for your super chat donation, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, an acquaintance and a friend. I'm glad you asked. I was just telling somebody about this just yesterday. When I was growing up, my mother said that you'll have a few friends, a few good friends in your life, maybe a handful, but you'll have lots of associates. See, associates are people like coworkers. Some people go to work and they start hanging out with people, eating lunch with them and all of that. To me, coworkers are never supposed to be put in a friend position. Sometimes you can develop a friendship with coworkers, but for me, for the most part, coworkers are just associates. There are people that I associate with for specific reasons, that being that I have to work with them, okay? That I have to get along with them in some capacity to do the work, to get the job done peacefully. Okay, I could go to work and ignore everybody, but why? So those people are associates. Associates are people that you don't tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. You don't really involve them deeply in your business. You just speak to them on a cordial basis. These people, you don't really have to trust them because you keep them at a certain distance. Because the reason you don't have to trust them is that you're not going to be telling them, or you shouldn't be telling them anything that you wouldn't want anyone else to know. You should never be revealing secrets to them or any of those things. Now, if it's a coworker, yeah, you must trust them in some cases, I guess, be able to trust them to do the work. But that's all you should be talking to them about, and things in general. Okay, associates are not friends to me. There are some people who come smiling in our faces and they'll talk with us and we'll have conversations. And sometimes people will think that those people are their friends. They're really just associates. They're associating with you for some specific reason. Okay, maybe they have something to gain. Maybe you're somebody who, does something for them. Like maybe you draw people to them and they want to be the center of attention, so they hang around you because you're an attention getter, not attention seeker. There's a difference. Attention getters are people who just get attention no matter what they do. They walk in the room and all eyes are on them. So maybe that's why they're associated with you. But these people are not to be trusted because people that are your associates, they're not loyal to you. They don't feel that they owe you any loyalty. They really don't even care about you. They're just around you for a certain reason. Friends are people that are loyal to you, that care about you, that want what's best for you, and that you can share intimate things with, intimate details, things that you don't want other people to know. The problem comes and arises when you mistake the two. When you start getting the associates mixed up with friends, then you start telling people stuff. Specifically, I've seen people do this at work. People will tell people things at work, and then those things get out and it's a problem. Well, that's why you have to treat coworkers like coworkers and stop treating them like friends. Okay. And like I said, sometimes you can develop a friendship from coworkers, but few and far in between, because most of your coworkers just nosy people that want to get in your business so they can have it as workplace gossip. All right. That's how that goes. I like my job, so I don't tell them nothing. Okay. It's best not to. It's best not to. I guarantee you that. Here's the thing. Think about this. You're sitting there being all chummy with somebody that's a coworker and thinking they're your friend, and you're telling them stuff about you that's really none of their business. And then something happens one day where somebody could get fired. Okay? It's between you and them. You think they're going to stick up for you? Or if something happens, let's say you get into it with somebody at the company, like one of the bosses, higher ups or whatever, and they've done something to you. Now you're suing them. Maybe you got fired and then you're suing them. You think that person's going to speak up for you, or are they going to? Here's how you tell. Is that person, ask yourself when you're at a job, whatever job you're at, ask yourself that if something happened tomorrow where you got fired from the job unjustly and you needed to sue the company, would this person speak up on your behalf, or would they be more concerned about not losing their job? And would they stick with the company, whatever the company was saying about you? That's what you should be asking yourself. That's how you can determine if this person is just an associate or not. Now, if you think that person would stick up for you and risk their own job, their own livelihood, because they want to do what's right and they want to be loyal, well, that's one thing. But I guarantee you, most of those people will quickly throw you under the bus. Okay, they will mostly quickly throw you under the bus because they're going to make sure they don't lose their job. All right? They're going to make sure, even if the company's dead wrong and they saw them doing shady things to you, they're not going to have your back. Okay? They're not going to have your back. Trust me, I know this from experience. Remember, I told you all, when I was in college, I sued the company I was working for when I was doing corporate security. I sued them for harassments. Okay, my boss Brad was harassing me every day. Is he actually harassing me every day? And I complained about him to upper management. Nobody did anything because why? He had the complexion for the protection. I'm just a little old black girl. So they didn't do anything. And so I ended up making a big fuss about it. And then they fired me. And so then I went down to the EEOC and filed a complaint. And they did an investigation and then gave me a letter, give me the right to sue, in which I did. Now, during the investigation by the attorneys, when the suit was going on after it was filed, well, they were going around asking people at the job different things about me and different things about this supervisor. Now, the people that were supposedly cool with me, who talked to me every day, who ate lunch with me and all that stuff, well, those same people sat there and took their side, knowing that they were dead wrong. Knowing that I didn't do anything. They said, oh, well, she used to bring a black book to work and write down dirt on the other employees. So I did that. Yeah, I did do that. But here's the thing. I didn't bring it to write down dirt on the other employees. I brought it to write down dirt on my supervisor who was harassing me on a regular basis. So I would write down the time and dates and whoever was a witness. Because I said, if I have to take him to court, I'm going to make sure that I have all my T's crossed and all my I's dotted. Okay? And so that's what I was bringing the black book for. But they were like, oh, she brings a black book and she would try to gather dirt on other employees and this and that. First of all, even if I had been doing that, isn't that my prerogative? But that's not what I was doing. But nonetheless, they said stuff like that. Now, mind you, they probably didn't think that I was ever going to find out the stuff that they said. Maybe they didn't even care. They just wanted their jobs. But I found all the stuff out from my attorney. Okay? Because my attorney told me some of the stuff they were saying because all this was given to him, right? So I just said all that to say you can't trust people that you work with for the most part. You think you can. You think they're cool because they go to lunch with you every day. They say, hey, good morning to you when you come in the office. And sometimes they'll bring you coffee from Starbucks and all of that. They might bring donuts for everybody. This person's not your friend, okay? If it comes between them and your job, they're going to choose that job because they don't want to murky the waters, okay? That's what they don't want to do. Now, me personally, if I'm friends with someone and this job is doing some shady to you, yeah, I'm going to speak on it. If you want to sue them, well, we're going to sue. At the end of the day, if they fire me for standing up for you and telling the truth, well, now they got 2 lawsuits. That's how I see it. That's what real people do. But fake people, no. They're going to cower. They're going to sit there and say, no. Yeah, she did this and she did that. And most of your coworkers are not your friends. Those people are your associates. Please pay attention. Okay, Ahmadiyyah said they only playing themselves. Exactly. Okay? Exactly. Miss Cookie said, I advise people to definitely have a black book. Exactly, beloved. Ahmadiyyah said, I stand on integrity. Right. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you see, it's very hard these days specifically, to find people that are really true, that keep it real, that are authentic, and that aren't haters. Because there's so many people that are haters. It's so many people that are fake. It's so many people that want what you got. You may think you don't even have anything. You may say, why are they hating on me? People have their reasons. You see, like an older woman told me once, people don't just hate on you for material things that you have, because they might feel like they can go out and do whatever you did to get those. If it came from hard work, they feel like they can do that too. Sometimes people hate on you just for the person you are. It could be something about your personality that they crave, that they can't get because they weren't born with it. You see, some things are inherent to us. Some things are unique about us. We were just born this way, and some people see that. You might have a light that shines in you, and you attract people. People are just naturally drawn to you, want to talk to you, want to rally around you. And this person could be off to the side, sitting there looking, thinking, why does everybody always want to hang out with her? Why does everybody like her so much? Why are they always saying this and that about him? What does he have that I don't have? When people start asking themselves those sorts of questions about you, yeah, definitely a hater. Okay, please pay attention. Definitely a hater. Okay, Miss M. Shantae said people can choose friends but not workers. Exactly. That's how it is. So yeah, I don't put any trust. I don't have any expectations or any of that in people that are just associates. But with my friends, I have expectations. I expect you to be loyal. I expect you to have my back. I expect you to want to see me do good and have my best interest at heart, because that's what I'm going to have for you. Okay? That's what I'm going to have for you if we're friends. Associates, I don't expect anything from them. I don't expect anything from them. Okay? Because I know that they're not loyal. So they're not loyal to me, and I have no loyalty to them. And so if I know that they're just an associate, I have no reason to trust them with any secrets or anything, that's outside of whatever I'm dealing with them for, whether it's business, business capacity or whatever. All right. Anyway, so with that all been said, and yes, absolutely. Jonah said jealous. Absolutely. Most people, I'm not going to say most people, but well, definitely most people, all of the haters are always jealous. You see, but the difference is a person may be a little envious of something that someone has and may say, man, I wish I had that. But the difference between that person and a hater is the hater doesn't have it, and so they don't want you to have it. Well, if I don't have a Benz, why does she have one? Who does she think she is? How can she afford that and I can't? I work just as hard as she does. That's the hater. That's how they talk to themselves. They don't have something, so they don't want anybody else to have it, okay? Specifically you, if they're hating on you. Whereas a person could be a little jealous, and that they may not necessarily feel like they don't want you to have it. They're just wondering how they can get it themselves, okay? And so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't done so already. Sharon says, it's very hard to find a real friend these days, even when you have known them for 30 plus years. I know, right? Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Okay? It's very sad. Hadiyah said, I cannot understand that concept. Well, beloved, that's just the way some people are. Some people are self-centered and only worry about themselves. That's all they worry about. Jonah said she loved it. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so with that I've been saying, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this lovely day. Meet me right back here tomorrow, same time, same place at 6 o'clock. Okay, we're going to get into it. And meantime, between time, like, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to tune in for your morning wake-up call. And also tomorrow, I may upload something for the members. Okay, so that being said, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. All right, Kimberly said, love it, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Peace. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to end it.